Thank you, Acting Speaker, and I rise with delight to speak on the Energy Safety Legislation Amendment, Victorian Energy Safety Commission and Other Matters Bill 2019. And I would firstly like to especially thank the Minister for Energy, Environment and Climate Change on her work and her office's work and the department's work on getting us to this point with this very important bill. I'd also like to take note, as I start, of some of my colleagues' contributions. The member for Broadmeadows and Essendon certainly highlighted the fact that this bill assists us with community safety, and I guess given, as the member for Ringwood said, the timeliness of this bill at the time when New South Wales and southern Queensland are dealing with the catastrophic conditions that we've seen yesterday and continue, I think it's a very timely point. I agree with him. I join with him in also thanking not only the Victorian service personnel, but also those from New South Wales and Queensland and anywhere else who have gone to assist the people of those states. This bill is about strengthening the powers of Energy Safe Victoria and ensuring better licensing protocols for electrical line workers. And we are committed to ensuring an energy system that is safe, affordable and reliable for all Victorians. And we've seen that a number of times this year by the other bills that we've passed, and I'll come back to those a little bit. Now, we make sure we have the best practices to keep workers safe through mandating minimum qualifications, training and experience for, in this case, electrical line workers. And as the member for South Barwon mentioned, that this is the 12th piece of legislation we've brought into this parliament to reform our energy system to make continual improvements. And again, the minister should be applauded for that work. The bill has two key elements, and the first is to establish Energy Safe Victoria as a three-person commission. The member for Thomastown just rightly mentioned that the 43rd recommendation out of the Grimes review, which I'll mention, was in fact to strengthen, to have the CEO as the sole sort of head, and we have gone further for the sake of governance to make it that three-person commission. The second factor of this bill is the establishment of an electrical line worker licensing scheme, which is also a very good improvement to our safety of our electrical system and also our workers. So the Andrews Labor government is getting on with the job, as we all know, of ensuring affordable and reliable energy for every household. And some might ask, why do we keep coming back to energy? Well, for some of us, the first thing we realise is we pop our microwave lasagna in the microwave, we turn it on and we wait a minute and then that's all we think about it. But behind the microwave, there's a power point. Behind the power point there's some lines outside and then gets to substations and high voltage wires, and we've got workers on every part of that system, and we need to protect those workers in order to provide the electricity system that our consumers, our Victorians, rely on. And that's what we're doing. So these changes that the bill makes have come about due to recommendations from last year by the Grimes review. And the multi-member commission will be more broadly skilled, improving its regulatory decision-making capabilities by ensuring consideration of a wider range of perspectives and experience. Now, as I mentioned, we have an unfortunate fire situation in other states, but of course we are bracing ourselves for a long hot summer, and hopefully we do not have similar problems here. But we need to do everything we can to minimise any risk at all. Now, recent coronial inquests have reinforced the need to strengthen regulatory effectiveness of the energy safety regulator in order to ensure the community's safety. And the Bushfires Royal Commission recommended reducing the risk of power line fires after it was revealed that fires that started from power line faults caused 159 deaths on Black Saturday in 2009. I think we all would remember where we were that day. I think that is a pivotal moment for all Victorians. The Rapid Earth Fault Current Limiter is a network protection device that is abbreviated to RefCal, so I won't say that mouthful again. But these are capable of detecting when a power line has fallen to the ground and almost instantaneously reduces the voltage on the fallen line. Now, as mentioned from other speakers, these RefCals are being deployed as a part of the bushfire mitigation program. Now, interesting technical fact here, a normal 22 kilovolt system is a 22 kilovolt phase-to-phase and two, I believe, 12.7 kilovolt phase-to-earth thing. So in a RefCal system, when the RefCal operates, the 22 kV phase-to-phase is maintained and supply continues. But the two phases rise to 22 kV as the second one, where the third phase is reduced to 0 kV phase to earth. And this eliminates the voltage to earth and the fault current to earth, which would then possibly cause a fire. So that's why we put these things in. Now, to prevent a resultant higher than 22 kV damage equipment within a planned installation, sometimes what's called an isolating transformer is used at the end of the line, like for a business who's using three-phase power. Now, some customers may need multiple of those. The Victorian Government has agreed to fund businesses 50% of the upgrade costs to a maximum of $1.5 million in some hardship cases. And I thank the Minister for working not only for the safety of Victorians in the bill and everything in it, but also working proactively with business and business groups. In fact, the AI group stated that not only had the Minister reassured them that action was being taken to support companies in this way, but that she had kept her word. So I think that's a good vote from the AI group. Now, it just so happens that we have a company in the Mount Waverley district called the Wilson Transformer Company. And they have been around since the 30s. So Jack Wilson started this company, I believe, in Port Melbourne, and they moved in 1950s to Glen Waverley. They've been there ever since. We've had Jack Wilson, then Robert, and now Ed and his brother will, I presume, take over at some point. So this is a great story of Victorian manufacturing in my district of Mount Waverley that will help us protect Victorians. So a shout out to the Wilson Company. I spent a number of hours there a couple of months ago and I learnt a lot. So whilst I've got about 2 minutes left, we also need to talk about our line workers. And Glenn Campbell would have probably done it better in a better voice, but we're not in Wichita now, we're in Mount Waverley in my district. So a big shout out to the ETU and Troy Gray, the Secretary, and all his members for their constant work on getting us to this point with the assistance of obviously the Minister and the work she's done to get us to a situation where we're now going to licence line workers. This is a good step because as we speak, before this bill is passed, once you get your Cert 3, that's it. You've got your Cert 3, you can do the job. What's being implemented here is licensing like you would expect from the Sparky who comes in your house to change a light bulb. He's got to be licensed, but our line workers who might be 200 feet in the air working on high voltage lines, they don't. So this is a very important step, and it makes a lot of sense when you think about it. We have a licensing scheme, make sure these people have done what they need to do and they're continuing to do that. So I think we can see that this bill is definitely improving the safety of Victorians, it's improving the safety of our system, and it is reducing risks of fire, and at this very timely moment, I think we would all agree that that is important and worthy of any work that we in this House can give it. So, again, I can only commend the Minister and the government in general that we concentrate on some may think smaller things, but these smaller things protect our Victorians and our community day after day after day. So in that regard, I commend this bill to the House.